This is Robert Kalua with the news on Zodiac. The headlines. We start with the news from the state. President Lazarus Chakwera has appointed Anthony Kasunda as the acting press secretary. Director of Communication Sean Kampondeni has confirmed about the development. Kasunda, a veteran journalist, was a spokesperson for the Blantyre City Council. The Reserve Bank of Malawi says it has purchased about 20 kilograms of unprocessed gold from small-scale miners in the country at a cost of 1 billion kwacha through the bank's Export Development Fund, EDF. RBM Governor Dr. Wilson Banda told Public Accounts Committee of Parliament Wednesday that the prices that the bank offers are higher than what illegal foreign miners offer on the market. Meanwhile, Park Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba took a swipe at RBM for using an registered company for the exercise. Andrew Viana with more in this report.
On Thursday, Reserve Bank Governor Dr. Wilson Banda and his team appeared before Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to take questions from legislators about a number of issues. Dr. Banda first told the committee about Export Development Fund, EDF, and its functionalities, which legislators had several reservations. In his explanations, Dr. Banda admitted that despite that EDF has been in existence for close to 9 years, it is not registered, but was quick to mention that Central Bank is formalizing operations of the investment sector on buying of gold. Dr. Banda told the committee that they have bought about 20 kilograms of unprocessed gold from small-scale miners. He added that the prices offered by the bank are better than what small-scale miners used to get from illegal foreign buyers. But PAG Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba has given RBM officials 3 weeks to go and bring back concrete answers why it has taken that long to have EDF registered.
We are talking of now almost 9 years, no license. Now, how can this be possible? It is owned by the Reserve Bank. It is a subsidiary, wholly owned subsidiary of the Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank is responsible for licensing development banks, and yet it has taken them 9 years to license their own subsidiary. This was by the committee was considered not to be on. We are breaking our own laws, and Reserve Bank should be the last institution to break the laws of Malawi.
Early this year, RBM started buying gold from small-scale miners in a quest to reduce economic losses incurred due to smuggling by illegal foreign buyers.
The Anti-Corruption Bureau ACB has refused to reveal details of the interrogation it had with President Lazarus Chakwera on fuel procurement at the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA. ACB Director General Martha Chizuma says divulging the information now would be unethical. But Chizuma said the interview follows what the Bureau gathered in its investigation on alleged interference by public officers in awarding of procurement contracts. State House Director of Communications, Sean Kampondeni, says responsibility to speak on the matter lies in the Bureau. Happy Njelamano found this report.
Director General of the Anti-Corruption Bureau, Martha Chizuma, says it was necessary to interview President Lazarus Chakwera on fuel procurement deals at the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA.
Because of the way things were coming out, that's why we thought that we needed also probably to hear the President's position on some of the issues that were coming up. No, I cannot reveal that out of our investigations, and it would be very unethical of me to talk about that. But I think what you can only ask me is about the interviews that we interviewed him in relation to the NOCMA issue.
We asked the State House Communications Director, Sean Kampondeni, on what transpired during the interview since ACB kept declassified the details.
I just told you that I cannot discuss what it was all about because it is a matter of law enforcement. The only people who can comment on that is Anti-Corruption Bureau, so you need to ask them. State House cannot comment on such matters.
The Bureau interviewed the President on Friday, August 6, before arresting former Energy Minister Newton Kambala and the other two on Monday, 8 August 9 this year, on allegations that they interfered on the awarding process of the fuel supply contracts at NOCMA.
Security experts have described as unprofessional and dangerous the conduct of political party youths who hijacked the presidential motorcade yesterday, as would potentially compromise the security of President Lazarus Chakwera. Brigadier General Mishek Chirwa, retired, and Sheriff Kaisi were reacting to Tuesday's development, where Malawi Congress Party MCP youths clad in black uniform ran on the sides of Chakwera's convoy. Meanwhile, National Police spokesperson James Karadzela has asked for more time before commenting, but the Malawi Congress Party MCP has admitted the people are its members and were only rushing to the president's next stop. John Pokayuni picks up the story.
A video clip has gone viral on social media showing men clad in black uniforms and red MCP branded berets running alongside the presidential motorcade, apparently providing security to the first citizen. These security experts, Brigadier General Mishek Chirwa, retired, and Sheriff Kaisi, say is a flaw and should not be condoned, challenging the security institutions to stop it. Brigadier General Chirwa, retired, told us the police and army should not have allowed this to happen.
The presidency has what we call presidential guard, which takes care of all movements, all security at the palace or when moving out. Where do they come from?
On his part, Sheriff Kaisi says the security institutions have failed to do their job. Malawi Police Service National Spokesperson James Kadadzera has asked for more time before commenting on the matter. But MCP Deputy Spokesperson Ezekiel Chungoma told us the MCP youth were only rushing to the next point where President Lazarus Chakwera was going to stop.
Just very unfortunate that it looked like it's part and parcel of the presidential security detail, but it's not part and parcel of the presidential security detail.
Malawi's constitution mandates the police and military to provide security for the president. For Zodiak, this is John Paul Kayuni.
Still with security matters, at least 40 police officers have been transferred to new posts in a manner some of them feel is linked to the recent protests they put up of allowances they expected to get for services during the Zodiak summit. In a leaked wireless message signed by Commissioner Stan Kaliza, Police Director of Human Resource Management and Development, the majority of the officers are from Kamuzu International Airport. But Malawi Police spokesperson James Kadadzela told us Wednesday that the transfers are an internal matter which the police does not have to justify to the public. Alina Femlamba found this report from Lilongwe.
2 weeks after police officers staged a public protest over allowances after offering security services at Kamuzu International Airport during the Zodiak summit, 40 officers have now been transferred to new posts. These include at least 10 from Kia, in a move that some of them link the protests, for which they were later summoned to police headquarters at Area 30 for disciplining. The transfers are with immediate effect. Good governance and security expert Sheriff Kaisi has described the transfers as disappointing and demotivating to the men and women in uniform.
But the timing would be connected to the issue. So if a much good number of those transferred to other areas of duty.
The decision has been communicated in a wireless message dated 31st August 2021, signed by Director of Human Resource Management and Development, Commissioner Stan Kaliza. Contacted for clarification, Malawi Police spokesperson James Kadadzela said this was not for the public.
I'm not discussing any administrative arrangement in the Malawi Police Service. I'm not discussing it outside the service.
The police officers at Kia claimed that they had been given 3,000 kwacha each in allowances for each of the 10 days that they were deployed, when elsewhere officers were given 30,000 kwacha a day. Disparities in allowances to police officers appear to be an issue spread across the country. There are reports that officers at Limbi Police Station are also complaining of similar disparities for security services being rendered where private entities pay more and they are actually given less.
There is uncertainty over reconciliation in the former ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, between the Central Executive Committee and 4 of the party's senior members that were recently recalled into the party after expulsion. The 4 members claim to have written Party President Peter Mutharika seeking an audience on the 14th August. Communication which the party's organizing secretary Chimwemwe Chipungu claims never reached Mutharika. Secretary General for DPP Griselda Geoffrey says the letter was hand-delivered, while Chipungu told ZBS the letter is not at Page House as of Tuesday, August 31, 2021. From Zomba, here's Emmanuel Chibwana with details.
The squabbles in the former ruling party hinges on leadership. While other quarters fail, it is high time the party held a convention to elect a new leader. Some think it's not prime yet. The party president, Professor Peter Mutharika, is on record as saying he won't allow to give the party to a person who will sell it to the highest bidder. Amid confusion and finger-pointing, the party fired 4 of its members. As the legal battle rages on, the party rescinded its decision, prompting the 4 members to seek audience with Mutharika. 18 days since the letter was written, there is no response. Chimwemwe Chipungu, organizing secretary of the party, says the letter has not yet reached the principal.
As of today, I can say that the office of the former president, Professor Peter Mutharika, who is president of DPP, has not received any communication to that effect. We also saw the written documentation in social media, and we don't know how authentic the letter is because the letters were not signed. So what I can say, we haven't received anything.
Party Secretary General Griselda Geoffrey wonders if at all the reconciliation move was done in good faith. The DPP fired and reinstated Kondwani Nakuma, Yusuf Nhenda, Griselda Geoffrey, and Japi Muhango. For ZBS in Zomba, this is Emmanuel Chibwana.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Sompenya amalawi watotukula malawi 2063 ufika 2063 kale wokomera aliyense achinyamata tikwirane manja tukula malawi achinyamata tikale patsogolo tukula malawi malawi wozimira paeka malawi wokomera aliyense Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.
Come to Shoprite for a more low price birthday. This year we're giving you more savings and more deals so you can fill your trolley with everything you need, all at our low prices. Like Little Chef whole frozen chicken just 1,799 kwacha 99 tambala. And 1 kg McCain frozen chips just 2,599 kwacha 99 tambala. Don't miss out on our more low price birthday. Only at Shoprite.
Please, hide me. Hide me.
Ian, why are you hiding?
I took some money on Caterpillar from that guy.
Really?
Yes.
Why did you have to take some Caterpillar from that guy, Ian?
I just needed a ticket to a music concert.
Come on, Ian. You need to have some valid reasons on why you want to borrow some money. And why taking some money from Caterpillar when there are some registered institutions in this country? You can go to banks, you can join some circles. There are microfinance institutions out there where you can go and borrow some money. And the good thing with these institutions is that when you go to borrow some money, they advise you on how much money you can borrow, comparing with your income. And there are also some terms and conditions you need to understand before borrowing some money. Okay. The issues of interest rates, the issues of a repayment plan, how are you going to be servicing the loan, the issues of collateral. All these things, they are clearly laid out when you go to these registered institutions than taking money from that Caterpillar guy. This is an embarrassment. Ian, he is coming.
Borrow wisely. Pay back your loans. Always read and understand the terms and conditions before signing any financial contract.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. On fate of club technical panel after performance review end this season. Moving on with the news, the Government Assurance Committee of Parliament has recommended that government should not compensate companies and individuals with structures along road reserves in 3 road projects in Lilongwe. Chairperson of the committee, Noah Repipa, says compensating companies and individuals with structures along the road reserves will set bad precedents and condoning lawlessness. Andrew Viano filed this report.
Minister of Transport Principal Secretary Patrick Zimpita told Parliamentary Committee on Government Assurances that 3 key roads projects that government intends to undertake in Lilongwe are expected to roll out before the end of this month. Zimpita said the projects include the expansion to 6-lane of Kenyatta Drive and Mzimba Street, which will cost 30 billion kwacha from taxpayers. He also added that the crossroads to Kanengo M1 Road and M1 section from Lilongwe Hotel and Lilongwe CCP, which will jointly cost $55 million from Japanese and Chinese governments, are all set to start soon. Zimpita, however, told the committee that about 1 billion kwacha will go towards compensations, some of which could have been avoided.
People that are plying their trade along the corridors, like the vendors that have got curios, we compensated them 69 million Malawi kwacha. So you see that you can agree that the compensation is really very expensive, exercise for us to do. Yet these people know that they shouldn't be in the road in the first place.
Chairperson of Government Assurances Committee, Noel Lipipa, told officials from Ministry of Transport that they should not compensate companies and individuals who constructed their structures in road reserves.
Roads amended 1981 Act, 1989, Chapter 69, that requires that there should be a 30-meter each side of the road as the road reserve. So there shouldn't be anyone being compensated because they built on a road reserve. So yes, as a committee, we were of the view that they shouldn't even compensate those people. They must go back and tell them that they were illegally or they illegally constructed whatever projects that they have along that road.
3 road projects that government would like to undertake are expected to be completed within different time frames, longest being 2 years.
Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Culture, Michael Usi, has directed the Department of National Parks and Wildlife to review certificates of a Malawian national, Rashid Gello, who is keeping wild animals in cages at R&L Farms in Bunda, in Lilongwe. In 2015, Gello obtained 1 certificate from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife to keep selected wild animals at the farm, but it transpired that he's keeping other animals that he was not supposed to keep in cages. Gello claimed he got another certificate from the department to allow him to keep the wild animals in cages. On Wednesday, Minister Usi and some officials from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife visited the farm where the order to review the certificates was made. Soselina Ngoma filed this report.
On Wednesday, the Minister of Tourism toured R&L Farms at Bunda in Lilongwe. During the tour, it was discovered that the owner of the farms, Rashid Gello, has been breaching wildlife conservation agreements. For example, he was keeping wildlife not in his agreement. Following the development, Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Culture, Michael Usi, has given the Department of National Parks and Wildlife a week ultimatum to review Gello's certificates.
There are some issues which must be addressed. That's why I've called upon the Department of Wildlife in the ministry and also the Lilongwe Wildlife Trust to meet the managers.
Director for the department, Brighton Kumchedwa, assured the minister that the process will be taken.
Once somebody has satisfied those conditions, then you grant him or her a captivity license according to the law.
Gelo admitted the challenge, but was quick to say that major setbacks is lack of knowledge on wildlife conservation laws.
Whenever they know that we're doing a bad thing or whatsoever, because I didn't study veterinary or animal health thing, because it's just a passion and a hobby for animals. So I told them that whenever they think that there's something going wrong, they should come in and help us. So I really like it that they came.
Some of the wild animals that are being kept at the site include ostriches, monkeys and zebras.
The Malawi Blood Transfusion Services MBTS has conceded that it has an uphill task to meet the target of collecting 120,000 units of blood donors this year due to misinformation and misconception on COVID-19 pandemic. MBTS assistant spokesperson Christina Kilowe said they have so far collected only 68,000 units, making it difficult to meet the target in the remaining 4 months. Meanwhile, Malawi Red Cross Society has urged Malawians to develop a culture of donating blood in order to save lives that need blood in the country's hospitals. Andrew Manea filed this report.
Malawi Blood Transfusion Services MBTS assistant spokesperson for Odala Center Christina Kilowe says it is worrisome that many people are reluctant to go for blood donation due to misconception that they will be tested for COVID-19. She has since encouraged the citizens to donate blood, emphasizing that blood donation is not associated with COVID-19 screening and testing.
The COVID-19 pandemic has actually been a setback in this endeavor of ensuring safe and adequacy of blood in Malawi, because the annual requirement of blood in Malawi is currently at 120,000 units, and our current collection is about 68,000 units.
Meanwhile, Blantyre District Coordinator for Malawi Red Cross Society, Ruth Jere, has asked Malawians to develop a culture of donating blood in order to save lives that need blood in the country's hospitals.
Blood donation is surrounded with myths and misconception. So sometimes people, because of their myths and beliefs, they may not turn in large number to donate blood.
The two made the call at Lilangwe in Blantyre as Malawi Red Cross and MBTS are implementing blood donor recruitment project in Blantyre, Zuzu, Lilongwe, Salima and Nzimba.
Civil Service United says it will review the performance of the technical panel at the end of the season before deciding on whether to maintain or let them leave. The club's General Secretary Ronald Chiwaula told us this while confirming the return of the first team coach Frank Ndawa from a forced leave, adding that his assistant Elia Kananji remains on leave. The two Ndawa and Kananji were placed on a forced leave following a poor run of form. Bright Kanyama with more in this report.
Last week, Civil Service United placed its two coaches, Frank Ndawa and Elia Kananji, on a forced leave, but the decision has been reversed. However, the team has on a record first team coach Frank Ndawa, while his assistant Kananji remains on leave. This, according to the club's General Secretary Ronald Chiwaula, is to allow the coach complete the remaining games in the TNM Super League and other assignments. Chiwaula, however, says a review of the technical panel's performance will be done at the end of the season before deciding on whether to terminate their contracts or not. Both Ndawa and Kananji have running contracts until 2022, but they are all performance-based.
Each and every end of the season, the technical panel are called for appraisals. So during that appraisal, it's when we can decide whether to continue with the current coaches or not, depending on performance, because mostly they sign what is called a performance-based contract.
Zodiak has information that former Civil Service United coach Oscar Kaunda is on standby to take up the coaching role if decision makers at the Sevens decide to let Ndawa and Kananji leave. Civil have 4 games remaining to wrap up the TNM Super League season and are currently sitting on position 60th on the TNM Super League standings. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
Well, that's about what we had time for in this edition of news, but before we go, a look at the headlines. RBM purchases 20 kilograms of unprocessed gold from small-scale miners to the tune of 1 billion kwacha. ACB refuses to reveal details of interrogation with President Chakwera on the fuel fiasco at Nokma. Malawi Police transfers 40 officers to new posts. Some think it is linked to the recent protest over Zodiak Summit allowances. And in sport, Civil Service United to decide on fate of club technical panel after performance review end this season. Visit our website zodiacmalawi.com for more news. I'm Robert Karua. Thanks for watching.
Mwana Malawi anzanga.